Welcome to Lucy's 4 and 5 month baby update. We are a couple months behind. Oh, I'm sorry, sweets. She got a little runny nose. So the last one we did was 3 months, and she's actually almost 6 months. She's not quite 6 months, but this is going to be an update about when you turn 4 months and when you turn 5 months. And you're doing all the fun things now. You're so much different than you were at your 3-month update. So I'm going to look at my notes I have on my phone here in front of me and just kind of talk about what happened when she turned 4 months and 5 months. Yeah. Okay, so at 4 months old, she was almost 16 pounds, and she was like still now, but just at that point turned into really squishy and rolls and chunky. Yeah, you're like a kind of a thick baby, but I love it because she reminds me so much of my first baby, Houston, who's my only boy, and then my next 2 girls were kind of more like dainty, and she's like more dense, and you're more like thick like your brother was when he was a baby, which is so cute. I love chunky babies and like baby rolls. She was drooling a ton at that point, so I think for a minute there we were doing waterproof bibs a little bit, but luckily she kind of like phased out of it pretty quick. So sometimes like she'll still get like damp up here, but there was a short period of time around when she was 4 months where if we did not have a waterproof bib on, she would have to like change outfits all the time, so we just kept that on. Yeah, because you were drooling. That month she like loved sucking on her hands, and anything that she could like get her hands on, she would bring it to her mouth. She started like babbling more that month and just saying like oohs and ahs, and she chuckled for the first time. And at 4 months old, she was working on rolling over, but she didn't quite do it yet. That's okay. You didn't roll over at 4 months. I was telling my friend about her the other day, and I'm like, she's definitely like a lazy baby, which is totally fine. But like all my other kids, once they started rolling over, they would sleep on their bellies and just whatever. And she's just kind of like good chilling where she is. She, at 4 months old, had put herself on a little nap schedule already of like 2 big naps and an evening cat nap. Obviously it wasn't like perfect every day, but she just kind of like fell into that little routine on her own. And at that time you were doing a 7-hour stretch at night, which was pretty darn good. Or she had done that. And obviously sleep is like very back and forth when they're this little, but so yeah. She both at 4 and 5 months, like she's been an incredible nurser and breastfeeder. She is an efficient eater, and she's like loves breastfeeding. She's more like my first with that, where when I bring her to the breast, she's like ravenous and like gets super excited, versus I don't feel like my other 2 girls were as much like that. So that probably explains why she's a little thicker, right? And you got to go on a road trip at 4 months to Omaha to meet your cousin. That was fun. Are you talking? And then the only other thing I had noted down was basically that at that point in time, she was pretty much just with me 24/7 all the time. She went with me to do everything. I had her with me all the time for activities and errands and working and whatever. She was not taking a bottle at that time really at all. The couple times I left her, she did, but she'd take like 2 ounces or so over 45 minutes, so it really wasn't like, not that I really wanted to leave her, but and I didn't stress about it because I knew she was eating something, but she just didn't like the bottle at that point in time. My husband couldn't figure out how to get her to take it, and yeah, but they tried. Grandma and Dad tried, didn't they? Okay, so yeah, I just said she didn't really like her car seat either. She still loved being worn in the Baby Bjorn carrier at that time. She was starting to tolerate tummy time a little bit more. And you went to the state fair when you were 4 months old? Yeah. Okay, let's move on to your 5-month update. So she turned 5 months on October 13th, and we're just at the beginning of November. So she is, like I said, almost 6 months. But at 5 months old, you were 17.2 pounds, size 3 diaper, and 6-month clothes. I feel like she jumped out of size 2 diapers and like size like 3 to 6 month clothing like that. Like she just skipped right through that. Like she was in it for literally 2 seconds, it felt like. Yes, right. So now you're in 6-month clothes. She is still napping 3 times a day. She's ready for bed around 7:30 p.m. and that's pretty consistent. Like she just gets pretty tapped out by then. And honestly, lately, sometimes she hasn't been doing her evening nap, which I remember this with all my kids. It gets really hard when they want to skip that evening nap because then it's a big struggle to even make it to 7 p.m. for bedtime. So we just kind of like roll with it and do the best we can. It just depends if we're out doing things. I mean, obviously she's the 4th baby, so we're a lot busier with our older kids and activities and social plans and just whatever. So she kind of has to be a little bit more flexible and right? Your bedtime's a little flexible and you sleep when you can and where you can. She, this month, between like 4 to 5 when she turned 5 months old, she did start rolling finally. So she rolls, but like I said, she's kind of just good chilling where she is too. She became a distracted nurser this month and in a cute way, like when she is nursing, she like loves like playing with my necklace and she'll like take her hands and just whatever, look around, feel around. She, when you lay her in her pack and play, like to go to bed, the mesh siding, she like loves to like scratch that. She's just like into feeling and touching everything and obviously anything she can get hold of. Oh, you okay? Oh, she puts in her mouth. So obviously we have to be super careful now with our older kids, and our son is obsessed with Legos, so we have to make sure nothing's laying around that you can grab. We tell the kids, like, don't give her anything small. They're still absolutely obsessed with her. Everybody loves holding her. The 2 older kids want to hold her standing up, which is obviously like not my preference because they're 6 and 3, but they just think it's cool that they have a baby sister. And then our 2-year-old daughter Veda loves talking to her and saying like, she goes, did you have a good nap? Did you have a good nap? And then she'll say, do you want Milky? Huh, do you? And she talks to her like in a baby voice, which I think is so adorable because she's only 2 years old herself. So that is super cute. Here, do you want to chew on something? There you go. Here you go. You can hold that. Do you want to hold this? Okay, what else were you doing at 5 months old? Oh, so at 4.5 months old, this is probably like the biggest update, she started daycare. And so that was a big adjustment. She started going 3 days a week and she goes with her 2 sisters. So 2 days a week, she's just home with me, like today is a Tuesday and she's home. And then 3 days she goes to daycare, and the daycare lady figured out how to get her to take the bottle by like day 2 or day 3 of her being there. She needed a bigger nipple size because we were only doing size 2 and she needed size 5 and that's what she uses. And so I just must have like a really strong letdown and a really fast flow, and she's like used to that and takes it. So she does size 5 nipple, and then at first she just didn't want to be held. She wanted to be like in a bouncer and then given the bottle like that. But now she's been at daycare now like a little over a month. So now she's like doing great with her bottles. She was taking 2 4-ounce bottles all the way up until just recently. Now she's gonna start taking more because she's getting mad, I guess, when the 4 ounces is gone, which makes sense because I think I'm pumping more than that, so she probably does eat more than that. Are you chewing? She loves like chewing on like fabric, like her sleeves, her shirt, like any blankets, Yes, you do. What else? She, over this month, like, started to not want to be worn as much. I just noticed, like, she'll still like being in the carrier, but I used to be able to, like, put her in that thing and she'd fall, like, right asleep immediately, where now I think she's just a lot more comfortable and used to her surrounding of being in, like, a bassinet or a pack and play. So we'll put her in her Woolly No Sleep sack. She transitioned out of the Love to Dream one and into the Woolly No Sleep sack. So I don't wear her a ton anymore just because of that. Like, I feel like when she's awake, she wants to wiggle and move, and then when she's sleeping, she sleeps better laying down. But yeah, you're talking. And then she outgrew the bedside bassinet. She was sleeping in the 4Moms Pack and Play bassinet attachment, and she got too long for that. And so now she's in the Nuna Mini Pack and Play. She just started doing the talking like that, but that will be for your 6-month update, won't it? Yeah. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything. Oh, we went to Great Wolf Lodge over that month, so that was her big adventure. Whoa, oh, we need your Kleenex. Okay, so that was her big adventure, was going to Great Wolf Lodge. She's a really good, easy, happy baby. The daycare lady said she is obsessed with her and you make her day. Yeah. And this time around is going like literally hyper speed. All my kids, obviously, for everybody, it goes fast when you have a baby and like their first year. But I feel like with her, for whatever reason, it's just super speed, and I think it's just the ages of our other kids being all super little and we're so busy, and then our Houston's in hockey and our daughter's in dance, and then this fall he did soccer, so we're just like really busy and working, but we're trying to soak it all in as much as we can. And I'm super thankful and grateful that I can have her home with me 2 days. And I plan to try to keep that as long as I can keep up with it, because I feel like since she's my 4th, when the other kids are around, I really like don't get to, obviously I'm nursing her, but other than that, like I don't really get to like hold her and like hang out with her, because my other kids need me too. And and like she's obviously like easygoing because she doesn't talk back, so when we're all together, she'll just hang out in her bouncer or like whatever, you know. And so yeah, I just really appreciate the days that I have with just me and her, because all the other kids had mama's time too. I will say though, Lucy was home the longest out of all the kids. Like they've all gotten a little bit longer as far as daycare starts. So with Houston, he started right at like 12 weeks. I think Shay was like 17 weeks or something. Veda was a little longer, although she was just home. She couldn't get into daycare till she turned 5 months, so I was working, but she was like home, so I was with her a lot. And then yeah, you were home with mom not working, well, like leaving her for like 4.5 months. So I'm happy we were able to do that. Yeah. Oh, Lucy Lou. Let me just double check we didn't miss anything crazy. Anyways, you're talking, so you're keeping everybody entertained, aren't you? Yeah, so going back to work. I'm pumping twice during the day. That's obviously always an adjustment, but I've done it for all my kids. I pumped, you know, I don't know. I've pumped a lot for when I've been working. So I prefer to just nurse and only nurse when I'm with her, and then just pump only if I have to, if I'm away from her. So That's going good. She takes frozen breast milk to daycare, and then she has like a deep freezer there, so she keeps it in there and then has bottles of breast milk at daycare. And then as far as solids, I'm not planning on starting those anytime necessarily super soon. Probably try to hold off like another month, but we'll see. She's definitely interested in solids and looking at it when we're eating, and like she's showing signs that she would love that, but not yet. All right, thanks for watching Lucy Lou's 4 and 5 month update, and we'll see you soon for her 6 month update.